Rats me and he also plays bass. Mark out sewage all over the place. Bob sits on his ass and he draws. Chris thinks people really suck. Mark points at raccoons and ducks. Bob sits on his ass and he blogs about things that probably don't exist. It's Mightiest Bastard.
You good?
A-okay.
Nice. Alright, here we go. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Earth's Mightiest Bastards vlog. I am Mark Stores and with me as always is...
Chris Carnicelli.
And...
Rob Morphy.
It's been a while, but we are back, and today we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange. We went and saw it in IMAX 3D, so fellas, what'd you think?
It's good. I think I would put it in between Cap 1 and Cap 2 for me.
In terms of quality?
In terms of overall how much I enjoyed it.
That's interesting.
Fair.
Between Cap 1 and Cap 2.
Yeah.
I would say
There's some things, we'll get to them.
All right.
Yeah.
that while it might not be the strongest story that Marvel's ever put out, it is an excellent origin case and probably one of the few true psychedelic films that have been made in the 21st century. Like, if this movie had come out in the 60s, well, it couldn't have. The techniques didn't even exist. But had something even close to this come out, it would have been the head movie of a generation. And this, I think, everybody that wants to experiment with psychedelics or anything else is going to gravitate to this movie like a magnet. But just old school comic book fans are going to be really satisfied to see a really interesting retelling of Stephen Strange's life.
Yeah, I really dug it. It was kind of cool how it was, I think, the one Marvel movie that stands aside from the rest of them where it was just completely different.
Because he's dealing with the mystical. They found a way to integrate it into the greater Marvel universe with just a simple phrase. Avengers deal with the corporeal threats.
And
we deal with the mystical.
Yeah.
And yet you still feel kind of in the way that like Asgard and Thor's, realm is like, you call it magic, we just call it a different kind of science. And that's kind of the way they're treating it. Mm-hmm. Like, he's an academic, he's a world-renowned surgeon, he's brilliant, and so he's just learning a different skill set when surgery no longer is an option for him. And it's fascinating to think of how, because they establish his world so well, and the kind of mystical enemies he's dealing with, and Dormammu and other evil things that have been famous in the book. When he, you get a little hint of it in the post-credit sequence where he's talking with Thor, which is amazing. But to think of how Doctor Strange is, sorry about it, I should have warned you, but it'll be there.
Well, if you're not reading the title,
then you know what it's about. But to think of how he's going to integrate with the Avengers and other more mainstream Marvel heroes, like if he bumps into Spider-Man at some point, it's going to
astonishing,
I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. I do think he could use a pinch more of personal stuff. It's not like it felt rushed, but there's still some things where I think they could have
explored the character a little deeper.
Yeah. It's not that they didn't do a bad job of it. They could have done something. I don't blame him because he's one of my favorite.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
Cumberbatch did an excellent job.
Yeah,
I just think they could have wrote just a couple more scenes just to get him, because really the most dramatic stuff you get is him being a dick.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And you don't get you don't really get a deep connection with his love interest.
No.
You don't even get a deep connection with the mystical stuff that he's the supreme sorcerer of.
His training sequence happened really quick.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to actually be like quite a while.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
like
that,
a year maybe. Or something.
I just figured because he was a brain surgeon and he was so obviously, you see how he's reading.
Like
photographic memory. They do kind of tackle that. Although they do throw things in there, so you can tell they really went over it to try to cover the bases.
Absolutely.
To make it not feel like it was rushed or anything. So,
but
it didn't feel rushed.
No, it didn't.
That's the one thing I can think of is that okay, he trained really quickly, where all of a sudden he's got his sling ring and he's just doing it. Like he's just making it happen.
Yeah.
But
they could have done a better job managing the perception of time passing. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Which is really a slight complaint.
No, because you have to nitpick
the larger picture.
But to me, this is the first time that you're really starting to see things sort of crystallize in a post-Whedon world.
Yeah.
And Whedon's influence was kind of all permeating. Like, he let Gunn do what he wanted to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, and all these individual talents tackle it in their own way. But there's some sort of an overriding guiding force. I'm not sure if we feel that anymore. They lacked kind of the warmth, as Chris said, and the humor. The humor that's kind of intrinsic to all Marvel stories, like the way the characters interact, kind of the gut laugh she gets sometimes.
Right, there's moments, but it's not like it's a purveying, fluid thing throughout the movie.
Exactly.
It's like kind of just thrown in.
Little thrown in. So it's in that way, it is sort of like, I think I would compare it more to Thor 1, where it wasn't maybe the most auspicious origin story, and it kind of left me feeling a little bit like at the end I was like, yeah, no, it's Thor, and he got his hammer, and it's cool, and I can't wait to see what he does next. And what he did next was amazing.
Oh yeah,
you know, the sequel to Thor and the Avengers movies, it's phenomenal. So that's what I'm really hoping is going to happen with Dr. Stephen Strange. Is that so they gave us all the stuff they needed to give us the feedback.
They did.
He's now one of the key sorcerers, or Sorcerer Supreme, basically. Even though I don't know if he officially got designated that title yet, but I
think he did, didn't he? Didn't they say that he was because the ancient one was gone?
We'll see. But either way, he's a magnificent sorcerer and a skilled practitioner of the magic arts, so it's going to be really fun. And just the way he dealt with Thor, again, we are dealing with spoilers. He had that kind of condescending edge that Doctor Strange always had, because he's a cocky surgeon. He's a very gifted, talented practitioner of magic as well. See it in IMAX 3D.
And the first time where she like it's the third eye, whatever it is, and like that was
amazing.
It was I almost IMAX doesn't bother me, but that almost. It moves so much. Well, I'm like
when he was traveling through the first time.
He just kept
with the hand that comes out, and there's multiple
hands falling and just
going through multiple dimensions.
Yeah, it was probably that was a like we talk about Pacific Rim IMAX. Like that was almost on par with Pacific Rim IMAX.
That's definitely
as far as the experience.
It's a blockbuster film designed to be seen in a big way, and preferably in 3D.
Yeah,
and it's really one of the most staggering, at least visually, theatrical experiences I've ever had. So that's absolutely incredible. Tilda Swinton, I was not expecting much.
No,
I don't necessarily
really.
love her as an actress. Made a great Ancient One. And here's a shocker. This is the biggest spoiler of all. Her fight scenes were some of the best in the movie.
Oh yeah,
Tilda Swinton's
the first fight scene
are amazeballs, and who'd have thought?
Of all people,
would have thought.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was very concerned about was the trailers make you think, this is a little Inception-y. This is, I feel like I've seen cities fold and bend.
Right.
But you won't get that vibe in the movie.
No,
I didn't at all.
No, the way they tackle it, that is, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah, in some ways, I almost wish Inception hadn't come out. Almost for one reason, it's not a very good movie, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and for another, I almost wish I hadn't even experienced the idea of a movable city before.
Right.
But even all of us having seen Inception,
Dark City to me was
Dark City did that forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was amazing
that's
too.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, we'll do that sometime.
Underrated.
We'll definitely do that. But don't if you're watching the trailer and thinking, oh, I've seen this before. You have.
No, it's definitely something totally.
And if you're worried it won't be Marvel enough for you, well, it's esoteric Marvel, but it's still a Marvel film.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Totally.
And everybody clicks. And as far as origin stories goes, I would say, kind of like Chris said earlier, I would say for me it fits slightly better than the first Thor movie and almost on par with the first Captain America. Because I really like the origin story of Captain America.
Yeah, I do too.
This is a good movie, a good beginning, and I hope this character really goes to all the extraordinary places it can.
Yeah.
Too.
As far as villains, again, Dormammu was spoken how many times? 15?
Yeah.
How many times do you think you were going to hear the word Dormammu mentioned on screen?
7.
And then you actually get to see him.
Yeah.
And it was
probably
one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Well, because that's getting into like the Jack Kirby-esque celestial
it gets pretty deep.
opponents. You're going into, I mean, he's paranormal, he's spiritual, but it's like Galactus territory.
Yeah.
This is like a primal, elemental force of the universe. And they really haven't flirted with this yet. That floating skull planet in Guardians of the Galaxy.
You get little
tastes of it, but you don't really know. So this is the first time you really see one of these huge galactic forces being dealt with one-on-one by a ballsy novice, wizard, basically.
And you don't get a typical ending, like a big
not at
ending.
all.
It's a really
kind of cerebral.
It's a very Doctor Strange type ending.
And that's the thing too. a lot of people aren't Doctor Strange comic fans. I happen to be one of them, and I'm not even scholarly about it.
Right.
You will get both the entertainment you want out of a Marvel movie and the kind of thing you'd go for like a Spider-Man or Avengers romp, but you will also get, for the true Stephen Strange fans, that kind of psychedelic, cerebral, sort of mystical edge that really makes that character so endearing to the people that love him. And I think both camps are going to be very satisfied.
And you even get the setup for the villain, the next villain. You even get the setup. Which I didn't think they were going to really... I didn't know how... I knew he was a bad guy. I didn't know how they were going to pull it off.
No, there's a good twist that we will not reveal, and a lot of interesting...
all I want, keep that
roads
tone.
that can go.
Just give me more runes.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, at the end, when he starts doing the eye and he starts doing the time thing, I'm like, just give me runes, man.
Yeah.
Because that's just the cool... Oh, it's the coolest shit ever.
It is awesome.
I never thought...
so good at... pretending there's runes and making them believe there's runes.
Yeah, I know.
It's so cool.
I never thought...
So it does have those moments where it's just like, oh, if you're a nerd about that stuff, you're going to love it.
And if you've seen this on the comic page for as long as we all have, and you've seen it drawn by some lackluster artists and some of the best in the biz, and you've always just imagined what it would be like, but just special effects weren't there, well, they're here. They are brilliant.
And you get to see a sling ring.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
It's astonishing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they had to do it, but... Really, sling
and the cape. That
beloved
cape. That's pretty. That's its own character.
It really is.
Great, yeah, it was awesome.
It's amazing. And you know what? Even people that maybe don't like Marvel movies but have gravitate towards fantasy films like the Harry Potter series or even Lord of the Rings, though I'd say more so Harry Potter, they'll find things to get a kick out of this. I think it's going to be a big crossover film, and I think it's going to open up, and it's a much more serious and smart and potentially darker series than anything Marvel's done so far. So I think this is going to be a nice off-road from the traditional Marvel blockbuster, and it's well worth seeing. And if you can see it on a big screen, if you really can see it in 3D, and you absolutely get a chance, do it in IMAX.
Yeah.
There it is. And that's our review.
And it is not trip safe. Designated not trip safe.
Yeah, don't.
Don't. If that's your thing, that's cool. Well, save it for later. Just enjoy that movie on its own terms.
Nice. All right, so there you have it. There's our review for Marvel's Doctor. Find us online at AMB Pod. We're available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Our vlogs have been a little spotty recently, but we're going to start getting back to those, so be sure to subscribe in the bottom there. And that's it. Anything else, guys?
Beef, chicken.
Oh, pork.
Turkey. It just happened.
Whatever.
Thanksgiving talk, bitches.
Turkey.
Leftovers, dude. I'm going to pick out as soon as this is done.
All right, cool.
Delicious.
All right, thanks for joining us, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Later!
Oh, Jesus, really?
What's up, John Wild?
God damn it, dude. Oh.
Earth's mightiest bastard. Earth's mightiest bastard. We might not know more than you, but now that we think about it, I think we do.